President Cyril Ramaphosa has indicated that he's in talks with South African-born billionaire Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world, to get Musk's satellite high-speed internet service Starlink operating in South Africa. Starlink already provides services in 16 African countries, including Zimbabwe more recently. So what would the benefit of having this additional internet offering be in South Africa? Well, to unpack the issues for us, I'm joined by Arthur Goldstuck. He's the CEO of Wide Worx. Thank you so much, Arthur, for joining us. Please explain the technology that Starlink offers and practically what the broad benefits of it are and how easy would it be to roll out in the South African context?
The good news is that it's incredibly easy to use, incredibly easy to roll out. So essentially, it consists of a receiver that picks up satellite signals and then acts as almost a kind of Wi-Fi hotspot that you connect your phone and your computers and the like to. So very simple to set up and very simple to use. From all accounts, it operates incredibly effectively, high-speed downloads. Airlines even are now in talks with Starlink to include that as their Wi-Fi option on board their flights. The bad news is that it's incredibly expensive. So what it's really geared towards is areas where there isn't internet access. So a rural area, for example, or a farm that has got internet access needs, a mine, for example, in an outlying area, all kinds of use cases, but all outside of urban areas. And once you have that kind of need, then you would be paying something like 6,000 Rand for the kit. That's based on the exchange rate, because at the moment it's not available in rands, only in dollars. And then you can pay somewhere between 600 and 900 Rand a month for your subscription. So it's fantastic if you're a fairly successful farmer, or if you're a mining operation, or any operation outside of urban areas that has steady income and can justify that cost. It's not a solution for inclusivity. It's not going to bring internet access to underserved communities unless they have a resale model where you can put a receiver in a village, for example, and then resell at very low cost access to what then becomes a Wi-Fi hotspot.
You've exhausted our interview because you've literally answered all the questions that I was going to pose to you. But then, of course, if they do go ahead with this, these talks, do you think that then it would really be an agreement with the government, like you say, installing facilities in rural areas and, those areas that have been underserved? That would be the best situation. As you say, it's quite expensive.
Yes, government probably won't step in on that level because it hasn't done so previously. What government has done is to connect outlying clinics and government offices, for example. And there they have the technology available to connect those places to the internet. They use fiber, they use what are called microwave links, which are long-distance over-the-air signals that go from one point directly to another point. And those are an effective solution for government. But for government to get involved in buying a commercial service and reselling it is going to be a bit messy, firstly. Secondly, all government really has to do is to give regulatory approval. That's all it has to do. And you'll find numerous people, there are hundreds of individuals, hundreds of businesses that can't wait to get their hands on the ability to bring these devices in, resell them, and resell services on them. What I do think Starlink will need to do is come up with a slightly different business model where it allows that reselling of the signal. But I think one thing that we should bear in mind is that the brief discussion between the president and Elon Musk was a very generic one where he spoke about bringing in not just Starlink, but also the Tesla vehicles and so on. And this is all sparked, I believe, by a tweet from Michael Jordan, the man behind Bank Zero and formerly FNB CEO, who tweeted, "Dear Elon Musk, please bring Tesla cars and Starlink connectivity to the country of your birth." And Elon Musk replied, which is very, very rare, he replied to Michael, and he said, "That's the plan." So clearly he wants to do those things. But I do believe that bringing Tesla to South Africa will have a bigger impact than bringing Starlink to South Africa.
Yeah, indeed. It makes sense what you're saying. But on the Tesla issue, I mean, what about our energy constraints? We know that they're being addressed currently, but then there's also the affordability issue. I mean, I know that when I visited, friends in the UK, they have Teslas, but they talk about how very expensive they are.
In the United States, they tend to be a lot more affordable. And in fact, they're becoming the preferred vehicle for Uber drivers and Lyft drivers in the United States because they don't have petrol costs. And the cost of electricity is far lower than the cost of the petrol. The issue is the upfront cost of the cars. But again, bear in mind that electric vehicles are not aiming at all at the mass market. They're aiming at those who would buy higher-end vehicles anyway, but also they're going to be a massive value proposition for ride-hailing type services like Uber, Lyft, and Bolt, for example. So there's any number of permutations that could occur. But then the government also has to come to the electric vehicle party, not just the Tesla party. And they've committed themselves to bringing down duties for electric vehicles, but they're still inordinately high. It's, I think, 25% duty. So government already adds 25% cost on top of the already high cost of EVs. And that's why at the moment it's not really feasible to bring Tesla into South Africa, even if Musk wanted to, which he hasn't wanted to do up to now.
Arthur, thank you so much for your insights on the Starlink and even the Tesla angle. That was Arthur Goldstuck. He's a technology commentator, founder of technology market research organization Wide Worx.